Welcome to Resting Place Discovery Group. It's September 12th, 2022. So thank you, Lord, so much for this opportunity tonight to be able to spend time with you in your beautiful, beautiful garden at the Tree of Life in the heavenly realms. And we just thank you in advance for the seven spirits of God, the cloud of witnesses, the men in white linen to join us, all the angels to help with our new experience tonight, for us to receive refreshing revelation of things of yours. So we just come together, united as one, to meet with you tonight at the Tree of Life. And if you have a pen and paper handy to jot things down, if you don't feel it's the right time to share, hold on to it until the Holy Spirit leads. And we just know that the Lord has us hitting the perfect bullseye tonight. But definitely please share what you hear, see, taste, feel. And smell.
Well, I've been waiting for somebody to say something, and since nobody has, I'll just share what I saw immediately. And that was, I saw us all of a sudden in like a very lush, almost jungly setting. And all of the animals were with us, you know, like the animal kingdom. And I saw us all starting to walk this path. It's just a dirt path. And so that's it. That's what I saw. Of course, the lion is prevalent. It kind of reminded me of Mowgli, you know, in Tarzan, you know. So
I'm wondering if there's a connection with the new Adam, the final Adam, Christ, and naming animals, just like there was with the first Adam and when he named the creatures. So I'm wondering if there is some sort of connection with all of them being gathered to us. I know there's only, two places I can recall where animals are brought to a person. You have animals being brought to Adam, and you have all the animals being brought to Noah. And there seems to be something there with the idea of naming or some kind of connection in there.
Well, that would definitely go along with helping the true scroll blueprint for animals to restore them.
They're waiting for us to wake up. So when we do, then they can celebrate with us and be renamed, given their true identity.
That's good, Molly.
Also, something resonates. You said you saw the lush jungle type environment. It's actually believed, among theologians and even, secular people, about primordial earth, when the conditions on earth were different than they were today. Now they believe that for a different set of reasons, of course, but both are in agreement that earth's conditions at one time were very different in terms of pressure, plant life, flora and fauna, combined. But I'm thinking that there is an idea between the restoration of the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom and the earth kingdom, and that being combined, of course, in conjunction with the Lord's kingdom being manifest on earth as well.
Yeah, and we're talking the new heaven and the new earth as well.
So, I just, while you guys were talking, saw us continue down this path, and the path has turned into a deep blue stone, like slab that we're walking on. So almost like, lapis. It's that color anyway.
Well, I'll add what I had seen and see if how this flows together, because I also saw green. I saw green, just the color green. It was unusual green, and right at the very beginning, and I heard music.
Oh,
And then my heart went to Andy's desire regarding clarity, and I began to sort of meditate on the angel clarity. So when you said we've stepped into a deep blue stone, I wonder if that is anything to do with clarity.
well,
Interesting.
there's,
Very beginning, I saw a blue, and I don't know how to explain it, but it's such a beautiful blue. It's a heavenly color blue, bright, beautiful, but it was so small and it was centered like a little dot in the center of my vision of black, and it was only for a split second, but it was just brilliant blue.
Yes, Debbie, I get those from time to time too, where I'll be out and about during my day and I'll see these pinpointed, there'll be the deepest blue light spot, and they'll kind of be different sizes or different distances from me. And I'll notice that they'll linger for a while and then they're gone. And in my experience, to me at least, and now this may be somebody else's engagement, but blue always reminds me of wisdom, and the blue also can be the sapphire floor of the throne room, and
That's what I
green
thought.
can be the azure green color that's always around the throne. So I'm wondering too if there is an opportunity to trade at the throne, which may have something to do with clarity or something to do with wisdom, or the like. Still trying to navigate that, but I'm just trying to put all the colors together and ask myself, okay, what do these colors mean? So I think we can trade into that or something.
Just to come back to that whole idea of the blue lights that you said, Andy, that you've often seen, I'm sure they're angelic beings. Because angels can be very small, as you know.
I had that thought briefly too.
So let's just, as you said, Jill, the path turns to a deep blue stone. Let's step onto that deep blue stone. Let's step there into the deep blue stone and see what we're stepping into. How about that?
no, that's great.
All right. 1, 2, 3, step in.
Keep walking on the stone.
Yeah.
And now this is kind of funny, but now people's feet are taking on that blue color. To me, that color means revelation.
What happened when you stepped on to that stone? What happened?
feet turned blue.
Did you sink into it?
No, it was more like it sank into us.
Okay.
Let's turn the damn thing off.
You know, often the stones are significant. Often the stones are aspects of the nature of God, of Yahweh, because you know the living stones that the fiery stones that Lucifer walked up and down on. They're like the fruit of the spirit. They're often the nature. So we could be going into one of the natures, into the substance of one of the natures of Yahweh. So let's activate our senses, sight, smell, taste, feel, hear, and see what we can get.
Could a sudden insight be another word for clarity? That moment of clarity?
Yeah.
Did you say a sudden insight?
Yeah, could be
Yes.
another.
Yes. Is that what you're getting?
Well, I mean, I felt like the word clarity and what I call revelation were connected. And one of the definitions of revelation is a sudden insight.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wondered, that's why I asked.
Clarity is beautiful because who doesn't want clarity?
Yeah. Yeah.
Clarity is part of being an oracle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think we know that we can go into, we can meet an angel called clarity, but we can also go into the very substance or the nature of the being clarity, in the sense of like living stones. So I think that's where we are right now. So I would just ask the question, how does clarity feel? What are the feelings we're getting?
Well, I'm getting like a crispness. I don't know how to explain that. Like, you know, like in atmosphere, energetically, my movement, even a sound of clarity.
Mm. Mm.
Getting two words, revelation, and that's going with the color, that deep color blue, that's their sapphire or whatever it is.
Mm.
Walking on, and did I just say revelation? What did I say? Good deep color blue, I lost my train of thought. I was getting revelation and the word burning, which I don't know what that means yet, or a way that's being spoken in.
So Andy, you can go ahead and, I know you raised your hand.
You can unmute.
Can't unmute, huh? Ask to unmute.
Andy, you may need to come in again.
Ask to unmute. What does that mean? Ask.
Yeah, it doesn't work, Kathy.
Oh.
It's
Hi,
part
Robert.
of it.
Welcome.
Hi, Robert.
I saw Robert.
Hi.
There you are. I didn't see your mic. I thought, oh no, Robert can't unmic either.
So, Robert,
Probably.
we're actually what happened was, just to give you a brief overview, we saw green, like a green thick forest, animals, and we were talking about the connection with Adam naming the animals and Noah protecting the animals coming to Noah. We started walking along this path, and we found ourselves stepping onto a deep blue stone, and we've stepped into it. We believe it's one of the natures of God. It's a substance of which we're entered into, and we're looking to see what it is. We think it may be clarity, and anyone want to add something?
And
Missed out?
revelation, you know, something those two words are somehow connected. I mean, they are connected.
Something else to consider, and sorry about that. I was having some weird trouble. I don't know what was going on, but I was actually engaging today, and I was reminded about something that I had learned from wisdom about the manifold wisdom of God, which is literally the polyvariegated or multicolored wisdom of God. And I was thinking that as wisdom was revealing things to me one time, that there are different types of wisdom. There isn't exactly one type of wisdom. There are almost an endless number of frequencies, resonances, and wavelengths that we can engage. And so it's possible that this blue path, this sapphire path, is some sort of avenue And the azure green, I always think about the throne when I see that, but these could be different polyvariegations of wisdom, different colors on the spectrum that allow for very specific downloads of certain types of wisdom. So that's kind of what I was thinking.
Thanks, Andy. When we were just looking into using, specifically using the five senses with this blue stone being that we've stepped into. And Jill, you said that it sounded like crispness. That was the sound that you got. And yeah. And there's something about clarity that just it has that crispness. It's to me that sounds like clarity. And as you said, Andy, part of wisdom's repertoire, I'm sure, of those that are part of how wisdom flows has to do with clarity. Because when we think about it, right, wisdom was the first of the creation, and we were participating in creating her. And then she helped, like a master architect, create the rest of creation. So all of the nature of God was there, and everything was clear. Everything clearly had its clear purpose, its clear blueprint. It's clear, everything was perfect. So wisdom worked with clarity, is what I'm saying, basically. Mm-hmm. I just see such a unity, actually, between wisdom and clarity.
One thing comes to mind when I think about clarity is I think about two concepts when I think about clarity. I think of transparency, being able to see through something, and translucency, in which light is able to pass through something. And prisms, are what create colors. And as I was kind of engaging that, I got the thought here, and I believe it's from who we're engaging. It said, I create paradigms and I prevent paradoxes. Kind of almost as if wisdom does something on the timeline of time, as if she prevents paradoxes from ever existing, but she creates the paradigms by which God, produces things, or God produces them through wisdom. So paradigms are just simply divine patterns.
So paradigms are divine patterns, And what are paradoxes? Contrary patterns? Andy, you mute.
Yeah, perhaps a paradox would be like a bad pattern or cycle. Like if, there was always a joke in movies that if you go back in time and kill your grandfather, you won't exist. That would it would create a paradox. But I was thinking more, it's almost as if wisdom kind of manages, or at least part of her role is to manage the timeline of creation and kind of keep things in order. So, if there are alternate realities, for instance, God, knows what those alternate realities are, but at any given time, a single reality seems to exist in our reality. So there seems to be something with the idea of God or wisdom, managing paradigms, the patterns by which God forms things, creates things, makes things, produces things.
Yeah, because, okay, again, I did look up the definition for paradox, and we see it in the word a lot. A statement that seems to contradict itself, but may nonetheless be true.
Yes, that's kind of what I was, almost something that appears to be false, but it's really not. I guess it's like a dependent reality. Maybe it's like there's a difference between a conditional promise from God and an unconditional promise from God. Realities that exist only if we do A, B, or C, versus a reality that exists no matter what we do. And so I'm thinking that there's something in that, almost like a creativeness with wisdom and with clarity, so that there is a transparency and a translucency about us as we bring things into this reality. I guess that's how I'm trying to word it.
Would you also say that clarity and wisdom is connected to understanding, the spirit of understanding? Because the reason I say that is I did see that word, but to understand a paradox is very helpful.
Yeah,
Otherwise you're saying, well, that's not true because this is, or whatever.
I think so. And the way when I had an encounter with understanding one time, it's almost as if like understanding, wisdom, and prudence, the closest human relationship I could come up with would be something like sisters. Except of course there was no reproductiveness that brought them about. But I guess the closest relationship would be that they are sisters or something of that nature. And I do think that there is a close connection between wisdom and understanding and prudence and the like,
Let's just engage further with our senses here, and everybody feel free to say, I taste this, it tastes like this, it feels like this, it sounds like this. Let's bombard our senses with this reality that we've stepped into.
I think I got some clarity on something, and I'll run this by you guys. I know you guys mentioned the Tree of Life a lot, and it's a favorite meeting place for you guys. And I get the idea that that idea is being honored here when I say this. This is what I feel like I heard. When you engage the Tree of Life, you can change existent realities.
Yeah, so my reality, what I'm sensing and what I'm seeing is, because I still keep going back to the animal kingdom. And so the Lord started showing me the animals in this reality versus the reality on earth. And it's very different. The animals are very different because they don't have any predator type or prey type characteristics.
And I think largely that's because we're going to start living from out of the Tree of Life and stop making decisions out of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which causes them to change, because I believe the predator instinct is a corrupted survival instinct. And so that they no longer need that, because when the Tree of Life is there, all the needs are met.
I feel like we can just, because what I was also looking at was just going back into the blue that we've stepped into, and it just began to see just how vast it is. And as I was just sort of, just meditating in that, in clarity, I just felt like, we can just put on the crown of clarity and receive the crown of clarity. and embrace clarity into our hearts, just into our being. Let clarity know that we deeply desire and love to interact and, live with clarity.
In other words, possess it.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So we have this freedom to just receive the crown of clarity and receive the substance of the nature of clarity into the very fiber of our heart and our being. It's part of the mind of Christ within us, and we just receive that. We recognize it. We agree with it. We love clarity. We want clarity to really lead us together with, obviously with wisdom and revelation. But we love, there's something so beautiful about clarity. I also saw just how when you spoke about it, Andy, and you said it was the two things that you saw was transparency and translucency. And that's beautiful. And yeah, I just love to just meditate in that for a minute. So we're basically embracing transparency and translucency as well. Things shall be transparent to us. They shall be translucent. I have to step away for a minute. Be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
So Kathy, when you talked about, the restoration of the animal kingdom, it just, I had thought about it, and I felt I wanted to pose a question to the group, which is, are we engaging and possessing this clarity in order to understand the restoration of the animal kingdom, or do you think they're just unrelated?
Well, I think that they're related.
For this
So
engagement?
so when Andy was talking about, wisdom being very helpful with the timelines and making sure that, when we're in this reality, we're not mixing the two, which could cause traffic accidents or,
Yeah.
if I'm dealing with, a prey animal who I don't think is concerned about predators, then I'd be letting my guard down. So it's important for me, obviously for wisdom, to keep those two realities separate, in a way, for now, at least, because we have not restored all of creation as of yet. So it's very interesting to me, the revelation that I'm getting tonight about the process.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that process. Yep.
And I'm excited about it, because it really gives you an amazing glimpse about the future,
Yeah.
and what the new earth and new heaven's going to be like, but the importance of wisdom helping maintain the different realities at this point.
Yeah.
So we can, exist in, both, but both can't coexist yet until everything's restored.
Yeah.
It's real interesting you say that. In the apocryphal book of wisdom attributed to Solomon, in one of the chapters, the writer begins by saying that wisdom showed him like the secrets of nature, animals, plants, weather patterns, nature, and I know in the biblical narrative too, it also talks about people would come around and listen to Solomon from hundreds of miles around, because he would talk about trees and things of this nature. And he must have had some pretty good content for people to be willing to travel all of that way. People wouldn't have done that unless there was something there that they saw of value. But I could kind of see him maybe like filling a room with people and just giving discourses on olive trees and the healing nature of olive oil, or wisdom giving him the secret to this thing or that thing in terms of plant life and trees. Sadly, which I think a lot of that might be lost to people today, or at least hidden. But I think that there can be, maybe wisdom can bring those mysteries to light again. And as we study the animal kingdom, we can have the mysteries of the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, those kinds of things unlocked.
Yeah, well, maybe we can do some sort of legislative act possibly to start bringing more of that revelation now, like it was back in Solomon's days. The hunger for it, at least, the scales starting to be removed. maybe we just release clarity, the spirit of clarity into the earth realm or something, or lightning bolts or something, or the frequency.
Well, I do think that Solomon is a part of it. I mean, he's a piece, you know.
Well, yeah, he has quite a bit of wisdom.
But God gave him that. Yahweh gave that to him.
Yeah. Well, and I believe we're starting to receive it as well.
Yeah.
The more we, ascend, for sure.
So one of the things I would just like, if it's okay with everyone, I would just like to, engage the angelic realm to bring this clarity to all regarding the restoration, let's say, of the animal kingdom. That they would bring that to specific people that Father knows. We may not right now. And they would, possess understanding and wisdom as well regarding restoration of the animal kingdom. And I would even claim that for myself, possess that right now for myself.
So, Jill, do you want to lead us in that, or? just for
Yes,
our,
you know, I felt like I was doing it.
yeah, I felt like you were too.
Okay. So
So-
yeah,
Is everybody in agreement with that? And does everybody feel, can't even think of the
complete?
complete? Thank you.
Yeah, we can all agree.
So be it.
So be it.
Amen.
Yeah, because if they're showing us, they obviously want this revelation for all,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
it's definitely not just gonna be kept in our little,
Circle.
circle. Because a lot of times when they're showing stuff to us, they're showing stuff to others, the same kind of thing as well, so
Yeah.
it is,
Okay.
it's a common. All right, I'm gonna turn the recording off.
Okay.